How's, how's everyone doing? Good, good, good. Man, what a great day so far, right? You all learned a lot? Okay, good. All right, well, thank you so much for staying behind, listening to me this afternoon. I know you all had your lunch. How many people is feeling asleep right now? Well, my name is Douglas Eze. I've been in the financial service business for over 20 and work with a lot of business owners, individuals. I also own a technology company as well, invest in a lot in real estate as well, and just educating families on the importance of protecting the wealth, passing it on to the next generation, and paying as less tax as possible. How many of you like paying taxes in America? Everybody says no, they don't like paying taxes, but yet you get upset with people like Trump because he get it out, right? So as business owners, when it comes to entrepreneurship, how did I get started? Well, I was 24 years old when I got introduced to the financial service industry. I didn't know nothing about finance. I was waiting table at IHOP when somebody gave me a business card. And I got into the industry. I wanted to understand how money works and what makes a difference. I happened to just realize that everyone, doesn't matter who they are, also want to know how money works. Because you don't matter how much money you make, if you don't understand financial literacy, that money's going to go away. Because money does two things. Either you're spending money or you're saving money. All right? Now, there's a difference between saving and investment, so that's a totally different conversation. But you got to save first before you invest. But as a business owner, thank you. As a business owner or an entrepreneur, one of the mistakes I've seen so many entrepreneurs make is they start their business without building a financial foundation, right? So think about it. This building that we're in right now, this building, before it was built, what was the first thing they did? The foundation was solid, right? Solid foundation. So when it comes to your business, as an entrepreneur, if you're looking to start a business, what do you think you should have in place first? Do you want to just go out and build a business without having a solid financial foundation? Well, what happens if that business fails or something happens to you and you can't carry the business forward? Then your business is going to suffer. I was talking to someone, a client that I do counseling for, because I also help and just people consult with me for different things. So the young lady, she's running her business. They're doing well. Her husband also works, and they have 2 children. And I asked her a question. I said, what is your value? Your value, your human dollar value. Because a lot of times we don't put value to ourselves, right? We put value to a lot of things, but we don't put value on ourselves. And once you start understanding the dynamic of a family, I say this: a family is a business. There's with a couple, husband is the president, the wife is the vice president, and the children are the employees of the family business. If you're single, you're the president or the vice president, and your children are the employees. So the question now is, when you look at your whole family dynamic, you bring income in just like a business brings in income, right? You have expenses just like a business has expenses, right? So you have furniture in your house just like a business has furniture in their home, right? So the question now is, what happens if something happens to one of the executives of the company? Not just death, but what about sickness? So I was asking the young lady, I said, let me ask you this. So the 2 incomes you are bringing in right now, how is it split? Well, she said she uses her income to fund the business 100%. Great. Then your husband's income. We use his income to fund the family, take care of our kids, pay bills, all this other stuff. I said, great. I said, now what happens if one income stops? What if something happens to you? Because I know a lot of times the women never think, we always look at the man, right? What happens to the man? But what about her? What happens to you if something happens to you, what happens to the family? Because now your husband has to find somebody to replace that income, meaning somebody that will come in and run the business that you started. But for him to go find somebody to do it, that means he has to stop working, taking care of the children, to find somebody else that can run the business, which is the company that she created. I said, do you want your business to die just because you're sick, or do you want the business to continue? So she said, I want the business to continue. I said, then if we want the business to continue, we need to make sure we have the right amount of value on you to make sure that the business continues. Same thing if something happens to your husband, are you going to hire someone? Because it's going to cost money to hire someone to take the kids to school, do all the things that your husband is doing right now, right? All those things require money. We don't think about those things until something happens. So being in this industry, in the financial world, I had to quickly understand the reason a lot of families, especially when you're looking into starting a business, most people get excited on the fact that, I want to be a business owner. But not realizing all the others, that means you becoming a business owner means this. You're now 100% full-time everything. That means when you start the business, you're not going to have the money to go hire somebody to do your paperwork. You got to do everything yourself. There's no vacation time. You got to go out and put in that time yourself. And you got to do something that you love, or else it's just a job. See, I love financial world, which is why I love financial education. Because I could do it in my sleep. Wake me up at 3 in the morning, ask me anything about wealth, I could break it down because I love it. But if you don't love what you do, then it's just a job. Then you might make some money, but are you going to really scale the business? Today, I'm able to tap into other businesses. Why? Because my financial foundation is solid. People see me and they know exactly what I do for a living. They know I'm a wealth strategist. I teach people how money works, the right places to put money, the things to do when it comes to creating that generational wealth that we want to create. Understanding the fact that when it comes to taking care of your family, which is the first thing, and protecting your family, which is so important, a lot of times we don't think about it. See, in 1913, the U.S. government introduced taxes to America. It was meant to be temporary, just 7%. The highest tax bracket was 7%. And they came about and said, wait a minute. After they tasted the money, money is something that once you taste it, it's very sweet. Don't want to give it up anymore. It's like, man, especially when I got into this industry, some people say money is bad, but it's the person that makes the money bad. Because money does a lot of things. It's right next to oxygen. So once the government tasted the money, they were like, man, this is so sweet. What happens to when people die? Oh, we don't collect nothing from them. They give all this to their children. Inheritance. Well, we need to start taxing them. 3 years later, then they introduced inheritance tax, estate tax. Now, here's the word, estate tax. Every one of you in a state, you're an estate, just like real estate. So I call it human estate. So when you pass away, the first thing the government does is look at how much you're valued. And then they'll put a bill on your life that your children have to pay before they get that inheritance. So you could say you're building generational wealth, or you're creating generational wealth, or you're starting this business, but if you don't protect your family's wealth, somebody else is going to help you spend it. And Uncle Sam is your business partner. I call him your silent business partner. Now, we're not saying don't pay taxes. We're just saying don't give the government a tip. A lot of people are giving tips. You know, they already told you what your tax bracket is, but yet you say, yeah, I want to give you more. But then the wealthy understand the laws and the rules and they follow it correctly. You know, unfortunately for so many people that start a business, they don't take the time to understand the tax laws, how to use it to benefit you and your family and your children. Think about it. I don't watch a lot of TV anymore. Before, back in the day when I was coming up in the business, when people say that, I'm like, man, how you going to know what TV? That's crazy. I want to watch news. But then as I continue to grow in my mind, I realized, man, it's all control. The media, the bank, the government, all three of them, they're actually related. They're sisters, brothers, and they love each other. They work together to take your money away from you. Because why is that? Well, because OPM, other people's money. Does the government print money? No, they don't print money, do they? No. They make money off of taxes. Does the banks print money? Banks don't print money. They make money off of other people's money. Every money you have sitting in your bank account, the bank is designed to do what? Use the money to make more money. Banks make money loaning money to people. I love banks. I love going to them and getting money from them, but at a low interest. That's why you got to have two things. You got to have good credit and have money. I call it cash is king, credit is queen, but they got to be married so they could make money babies. Because if they're not married, ain't nothing happening. Because you could have good credit, and if you don't have no money, what happens? The banks ain't going to give you anything. They're like, well, you know, because a lot of us came from West Africa. I came from Nigeria. Coming here, I didn't know nothing about credit. What's credit? We pay cash. Very proud of it, too. We put our chest out. Pay cash. Until you go and they tell you, man, your cash is nothing here. You need to have credit. What do you mean I have to get credit? Then you go get credit, and because we don't understand what credit is, we're like, man, this is free money? And we start swiping. And then you realize, man, you just ruined your credit. Now, you could have credit, but if you don't have money, the banks ain't give you no money either. So both got to be together and they got to be married. Understanding, too, when somebody tells you debt is bad, you got to really think about what are they saying. You know, a lot of us have been brainwashed to pay off our houses, right? Pay off your house, pay off your debt. You know, I used to be one of those people that used to preach that. I actually had a whole system that showed people how to pay off their houses quickly by making extra payments. You've heard that before. Pay extra. But then I started thinking to myself, because I always use everything that I do for me first. I started saying to myself, Douglas, wait a minute. Why are you telling people to pay off your mortgage? So you went to the bank. Think about it. Let's follow me here, right? You want to buy a house, right? How many of you own homes here? Okay, good. Remember when you went to buy your house? You brought your W-2 income. They said, show us your two-year tax return. You brought it. Your W-2, your last two pay stubs, right? You went and got it. You even went and printed out your bank statements. And you kept calling the mortgage loan officer. Have they approved my loan? Have they approved my loan? They say, well, we need to run your credit. Okay, here's my social security number. Please take it. And then you gave them all that stuff voluntarily, begging the loan officer, have they approved my loan? Have they approved? And you finally get approved. And they say, okay, take your time and pay us over 30 years. And you're like, okay, I'll do it. And then all of a sudden, you watch somebody on the media that says you need to pay off your house quickly. And you're like, well, you know what? Let me make extra payment so I could pay it off in 15 years. Not realizing that every extra dollar you put in your house, this is a house, right? Every extra money you put in this house, how much interest are you earning on it? Nothing. You're making zero interest. But your future person, when you'll be 50, 60. He's waiting for the money, but you keep dumping it in the house. And then if there's a financial emergency and you can't even pay the mortgage, what happens? They foreclose your property. Then somebody like me that has cash waiting for the right opportunity will buy the house at a discount and then get on social media and say, hey, I flip properties. I just flipped this property. Let me teach you how to flip properties. Folks, understand this. Your money needs to be working for you all the time so that it continues to make money babies. Don't put your money in places that is not growing. In your house, you can't access it. Think about it. If you have equity in your home, how easy is it for you to go get the money? You still got to go back to the bank and sit down and beg them, please, I need a loan. That's crazy. I never understood that, so I had to change my mindset quickly. So I love debt. If the bank will give me a mortgage for 50 years, I'll take it. 50 years, I'll take it. You know why? Because my monthly payment will be lower. See, always focus on the monthly payment, not on the interest rate. Focus on how much is coming out of pocket so you could invest the difference in an account that's going to make sense for your family and build money for your future person. Because your future person is waiting for you to make the right decision today. And once you understand this final thing I'm going to say, your dollar today is more valuable than your dollar in the future. Understand this. Your dollar today is more valuable than your dollar in the future. What does that mean? It means simple this. If I have $1 today, that dollar is not worth anything in the future unless it grows. Meaning I cannot, inflation, a lot of us don't think about that guy. He's around. You got to look at what I call the holes in your financial bucket. See, just like water and money, actually, they're both alike. They like each other. Water and money, they're the same. They're always looking for the least resistance to get away from you. So as a business owner, when you're looking at your business and you're bringing in income from your business, two things you have to do. One, you got to reinvest in your business. That's always a great thing. Don't be cheap with the tools of your business. A lot of business owners cut corners when it comes to the tools of their business. See, when people meet with me and I tell them how much they have to pay to help them, one, not only protect their asset, their most valuable stuff, their asset. They're like, well, no, I don't want to pay that. But then they'll pay money, especially, my Nigerian people, they'll pay money to do what? To go to a party and buy clothes. They'll pay money to do other things instead of investing it back in their business. Second, and protection is important because a lot of people they don't even have a trademark. I have a technology company that's global. We have to trademark it in 18 countries in Africa and here in the U.S. Do you know how many businesses people have lost their business because they're not protected? So many things happen that most people don't even hear about. We only hear about all the good stuff on social media, but we don't hear about the bad stuff. Companies that have been taken over because you're not fully protected. Products that have been buried because you're about to compete with a big company. Stories like that happen all the time, but most people because we only want to see, oh man, he's making money. I want to do what he's doing. And stop following people just because you see do what God has created for you to do. I don't worry about other people's money. Like I always tell people, you put out whatever positive energy you put out, you plant positive seeds, you're going to get positive harvest. But if you plant negative seeds, then negative harvest will follow you all day, every day. Don't matter how much you try to dice it, slice it, right? So when it's all said and done, as a business owner, entrepreneurship, you got to think about protection. Because people make money in America two ways. Either they win the lottery or they sue somebody. So you got to protect yourself all the time. And there's ways to make it happen. So many people don't even have simple will or trust. And when it comes to a trust, there's about 80 different types of trust. So which one is it that you want to help you protect your business, protect your family wealth? You see, so many wealthy people they've trusted up. You know, I was working with a client one time, and she was asking me, man, she was going through a divorce. But her husband, parent, he's getting a trust fund money. And she wanted to get a piece of that. I said, well, you can't. Can't get a piece of it because the family's trusted up. The money is coming in. He doesn't own nothing. He's getting money every month, huge amount of money every month. She couldn't get a piece of that. So the question now is, see, the parent were able to protect the wealth that they've built. I have 4 girls. I'm trusted up to the hilt. You know, I own about 6 trusts that I control. You know, so at the end of the day, the key is control. Control, control, control. Rockefeller said it best. Own nothing, control everything. Own nothing, control everything. Some of us, a lot of us Africans, we love to own stuff. I own that building. Until you get sued and they come after it. So protect your business, protect your family, protect your wealth, and then pass it on to the next generation by controlling it beyond the grave. All right? I think that's my time.